Royal Navy Maritime Gendarmerie. The 2021 Jersey dispute is a dispute involving United Kingdom, Jersey and France about the government of Jersey's licensing of French fishing boats to fish in its territorial waters. While Jersey is not part of the UK, the licensing of European Union fishing boats to continue to fish in Jersey's territorial waters changed in 2021 after the UK exit from the EU. On the 5th of May 2021, French fishermen held a protest in the waters of Jersey's main harbour. The UK sent 2 patrol boats to Jersey in response to the fishermen's threats to blockade it. French politicians suggested that Jersey's electricity supply, fed by undersea cables from France, could be cut off in retaliation for Jersey placing limitations on the extent to which French boats can fish in the island's waters. Jersey is a Crown dependency. Although the island was never part of the UK nor EU, its relationship with regard to fishing was governed as part of the EU fishing frameworks. From 2004 until the 31st of December 2020, Jersey and France shared responsibility for the management of fishing in the area between 3 and 12 miles off Jersey's coast under terms agreed in the Bay of Granville Agreement, which France and the UK had signed in 2000. As of February 2020, 392 French boats had active permits to fish under the terms of the agreement. After the UK left the EU in 2020, the Bay of Granville Agreement no longer had effect and Jersey's fishing relationship with France changed to be governed by the EU-UK Trade and Cooperation Agreement. This requires that Jersey allow licensed European vessels to fish in its territorial waters. Jersey took control of all fishing boats in its waters through a licensing process. However, EU boats with a history of fishing in Jersey waters will be granted a permit. Similarly, Jersey boats that have traditionally fished in French waters will be given a permit to continue by the French authorities. An amnesty period was introduced, allowing French boats over 12 meters long to continue to fish until the end of April. The change means that Jersey will control fishing activities for EU boats in Jersey waters, which is of concern especially to French fishermen. The new permit system was introduced for vessels over 12 meters long equipped with vessel monitoring systems at the end of the amnesty period on the 30th of April 2021. And the government of Jersey issued 41 permits, with a further 14 pending. Some licenses came with conditions including. The French government claims that these conditions had not been discussed previously and therefore had no effect. The French government complained at how the system had been implemented, calling the new rules completely unacceptable, as they dictate where ships can and cannot go. On the 5th of May, the Maritime Minister Anna Girardin said France was ready to use retaliatory measures, including cutting off the island's access to the French power grid, from which comes 95% of the island's electricity. The Normandy region and the Manche department closed their combined offices in Jersey, which were set up in 1995, to protest their lack of understanding and discontent. In protest at the system, a number of Norman and Breton fishermen met in Granville, with some intent on blockading the port of St. Helier on the 6th of May. This arose out of a misunderstanding of the new process. French fishermen understood they needed to produce evidence of 10 days of fishing to receive a permit for the whole year, while in fact they needed to produce a minimum of 10 days of evidence, plus evidence for the most number of days per year they had fished in the island's waters in the past 3 years. In the evening of the 5th of May, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson said any blockade would be completely unjustified and announced that the Royal Navy would send 2 patrol vessels to monitor the waters around Jersey as a precautionary measure. He also held meetings with John Le Fondre, the Chief Minister of Jersey, and Ian Gost, the island's Minister of External Relations, telling them of the need for the escalation in tensions. On the 6th of May, HMS Seven began patrolling the waters around Jersey. In response, France sent 2 of its own patrol boats, Athos and Themis, shortly after 13:30 British summer time. Between 50 and 60 French fishing boats including trawlers and smaller craft entered the St. Helier harbour area, remaining outside the pierheads. Some lit distress flares and others displayed banners. The fishermen communicated amongst themselves over marine VHF radio. They were joined by a Jersey oyster fisherman on a converted landing craft. One of the French fishermen said that having just spent €3 million on 2 new trawlers, he could go bankrupt if not allowed to continue to fish in Jersey waters on the same basis as before. A member of the Jersey Militia Reenactment Group was seen at Elizabeth Castle firing a musket towards the French boats. In another incident, a French fishing boat was filmed appearing to ram one of the only Jersey